Make the given variable the subject to the formula in each of the following. So I'll start with part B. So to make V the subject of the formula, by the way, the given variable is given in circles like this. So in part B, we are making V the subject of the formula. So to do that, you want to start with cross multiplication. So you can say this times this, this times this. So D multiplied by V, you have dV. Then this multiplied by this, that's a 1. By the subject of the formula, we mean V should be the only variable on one side. So in this case, in the first case, D was the subject of the formula. In the second case, M is the subject of the formula. And then this time around, we want to make V the subject of the formula. So I have to get rid of this D by dividing both sides by D. So this and that will go. Then you remain with V, so that V is equal to M over D. So that means V is the subject of the formula. So let's take it one step forward by attempting something that is a bit more advanced. So this is part A. So to solve this, all you need to do is take all the variables. Remember, we're making M the subject of the formula. So you want to take any variable or any term which has an M on it to the other side, preferably this side. So you have 3M minus Km is the same as, you can take the n to the other side and say n, and then we have minus 5. You can still say minus 5 plus n, although it looks better when you do it like this. So now, at this point, we have two terms with an m which are unlike. This is 3m, this is km. So you can't add, you can't subtract, but you can factorize. So what you do here is you factor the m out. So you can factor the m out. And then once the m has been factored out here, you remain with a 3. Then minus, when you factor the m out, you remain with a k there. And then you equate this to n minus 5. And then to make m the subject of the formula, you get rid of 3 minus k. How do you do that? You simply divide both sides by 3 minus k, 3 minus k. And then this and this will go, because this into this is 1. So your m is n minus 5 over 3 minus k. And you're done. And then let's look at the third example, which has a fraction. So what if you have a fraction? As you may have guessed, you simply have to cross multiply, and then you can follow the same procedure. So when you have fractions like this, the first step is cross multiplication. You can either start with this or with this. The choice is all yours. So I will start with this. So you can say t 8 minus q, and then 1 multiplied by this. This will simply be 2 minus q. And then you can expand this side and say 8t minus tq is the same as 2 minus q. So in this one, we are making q the subject of the formula. So I'll need to take all the q terms to one side, and then everything else to the other side. So what I'll do here is I'll take this q this side, so that it's positive, and then minus tq, then this is the same as 2 minus 8t. So now To make Q the subject of the formula here, you can factor the Q out. So Q has been factored out. When you factor the Q out here, you remain with a 1, since 1 is the coefficient of this. Remember, we always have an invisible 1 here. Then when you factor the Q out from here, you remain with a T. Then this is 2 minus 8T. So now, to make Q the subject of the formula, you can simply divide both sides by 1 minus T. 1 minus T. Why 1 minus T? Because it's technically the coefficient of Q. You want to get rid of this so that you remain with your Q. So once you remain with your Q, then you have made Q the subject of the formula. So this is your answer. And then the third example, we have 2 over y is 3x over x minus 1. We're making x the subject of the formula. So as you may have guessed, the first step is to cross multiply. So you can multiply this by this. So you have 3xy. Then this multiplied by this. I suggest you do this before you expand. Expanding is not really wrong, but it's better to take it one step at a time. This multiplied by this will be 2x. 2 multiplied by -1, you have -2. So now we want to make x the subject of the formula. So I'll take all the x terms to one side. So in a case like this, it's better to take this one to the other side and this one to the other side so that you minimize the negative signs as much as possible. Although whatever you do is still okay, whether you take this one to the other side and leave this one as a negative, it's still okay. So I'll take the 2 this side and then leave this 2x this side. Then I'll take the 3xy to the other side. And then I'll factor the x out. Remember, these two are unlike terms. You can't subtract them. But you can factor the x out so that you have 2 here. When you factor the x out, you remain with a 2. When you factor the x out here, you remain with 3y. And then to make x the subject of the formula, you can simply divide both sides by 2 minus 3y. This part here, the coefficient of x, or the part which is stopping you from having x as the only variable on the right hand side. So this is 3y. So this and that will go. Then you remain with an x is equal to 2 minus 3y. So now at this point, you want to write your x this side so that you have x is equal to 2 over 2 minus 3 y, like that. You're done. And then the last example is even easier. So we're making Q the subject of the formula. It's a bit different, but probably much easier than the other 4 examples. So we want to make Q the subject of the formula. So first of all, you want 6 over, you want the Q to be alone. So you can just leave it this side and take the 8 to the other side. So you have P minus 8 is the same as 6 over Q. And then at this point, as you can see, Q is not the subject of the formula. You can just put over 1 here and cross multiply. So I'll say Q multiplied by this. Without expanding, just say Q P minus 8. Then this times this, you have a 6. So the moment you expand this, then you will be forced to factorize again. So it's better to leave it like this and then divide both sides by P minus 8, because once you get rid of P minus 8, you remain with Q, which is the subject of the formula as required. So now this is your assignment. So make the given variable the subject of the formula. So in sorry, I left my stand, so I've decided to improvise. So make the given variable the subject of the formula in each of the following. Each problem has 3 marks. So here we are making C the subject of the formula, we are making X the subject of the formula here, and then U, and then X here, and then W here, and then N here.